So I probably am guessing what you're thinking is who is crazy enough to give this guy a microphone and let him say whatever he wants? And it's that guy right there. So I didn't really ask Dr. Calloway why he picked me to speak. I just said yes before he could change his mind, and here I am. But before I go into my speech, I really want to acknowledge the hourly workers of the college who aren't here with us today, because they're cleaning up after the breakfast and they're enrolling students and cleaning toilets and giving tours and all that kind of stuff. So. I think it's important that we find a way to repay them and make this experience part of their experience. So I guess that's up to you guys to decide how to do that. So another question you're probably thinking is, God, when is this guy gonna leave? When's he gonna be out of here? Isn't he graduated already? Get him out of here. So, well, you're not the only people who think that. My immediate family, they're okay. They're like, hey, it takes as long as it takes, don't worry about it. But people I've gone to school with and coworkers and people in the community, they ask me that just about every time they see me. When are you going to leave that school? And I just smile and say, yeah, I'm still there. I don't really have an answer for them. But I have an answer for you. And in order for that answer to have meaning, I need to let you know how I came to this school. I had this really crappy job in a bookstore, and as crappy jobs go, it was probably one of the better ones because I didn't totally hate everybody I worked with. And it was a bookstore, and it was around books, so I kind of thought through osmosis I'm gaining knowledge. And I do this thing that all young people do who have dead-end jobs. We kind of justify it by saying, oh, well, I'm going to school next semester. And that kind of makes it okay to have a crappy job. But my boss overheard me one day tell a coworker that I was going to school next semester. And he pulled me aside, and he's kind of this weird guy who he'll start talking really nice, but in the middle of the sentence, he starts yelling at you. So he was like, so I heard you're going to school next semester, and tomorrow's the last day for registration, so I need you to get over there and get your schedule and bring it to me, because it's got to be here by 8 a.m. I'm like, whoa, okay, yes, okay. So he left, and I'm kind of shaking there, and I thought, boy, I've done it. My big mouth has got me in trouble one more time. So I got in my crappy car that shakes when it rattles, and smoke's coming out, and I couldn't get on the highway because it only goes like 40 miles an hour. So I'm driving all the windy roads to Johnson County from Wyandotte, and all the time I'm thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? If a cop stops me, I'm so dead. And so I pulled into this very parking lot out here at the Carlson Center, and I stopped my car, and I'm thinking, oh God, what am I doing? And I can hear the oil dripping out of my car. And I'm thinking, it's not gonna start again. I'm so screwed. What am I gonna do? And I was looking out the windshield, and I'm seeing all these happy blonde children. Oh, mother, thank you for paying my tuition. Oh, daughter, you're so, I'm like, this is so, it was, I know that's not really what happened, but to me, that's what I saw. And so I'm there white knuckling on the steering wheel thinking, what am I doing here? I'm gonna either kill those kids or they're gonna kill me. And so I thought, okay, just get out of the car and walk in the building and see what happens. So I got out of the car and I walked in, and I'm seeing these fresh faces up close, and they're young and thin and beautiful. I am so not those things. And so I go to pick up the application for the admissions, and I picked up like 5 of them because I'm writing, and I messed up my name, so I got a new one. But the 3 looks like a 5, and it's not just right. And this whole time I'm thinking, what am I doing here? This isn't for me. People like me don't go to college. This is not meant for me. And I had that horrible feeling that I used to have when I was a kid. I used to be a migrant farm worker, and I remember look at the farmer through the windshield, and I was so mad, and I was just mad at everybody because that wasn't right and it wasn't fair. And when you're a kid, everything is either fair or unfair. And so I was sitting there in the admissions office, and I'm thinking, this is unfair. Why am I having such a hard time deciding to go to school? Why is it so easy for these kids to come and enroll and pay for their classes and not have to use the emergency credit card and not have to worry about getting stopped by the cops because their car is making too much? I mean, it was just overwhelming, and I just thought, this isn't for you. You're fat, you're stupid, you're lazy. This is not the place for you. And so I was going to just get up and I was going to leave. And then that's when I realized that I didn't have anywhere to go. And I don't know if you've ever been in that position, to not have any options, not have anywhere to go. So I just got my application and I handed it to the lady at the desk. She stamped it or did whatever it was, and I went off to see a counselor, and then I was off at the to pay my tuition, and I got my emergency credit card, which only had $200 on it, but that was enough to pay for my class and get my books. And I was on my way out to the car, and I was like, oh my God, I did it. I can't believe I did it. I'm a student. And I got in the car, and I sat down, and I just started crying because I knew at that moment I had changed my life. The course of my life had changed, and I don't know if you've ever had one of those experiences where you definitely know that your life has changed in that moment. And mine did. For worse or for better, it was going to change, and I was in control of what was going to happen. So I came to school, and the first day of class was a big drama itself, but I ended up having a really good time at this college, and I fell in love with this place. And so when you ask the question, when are you going to leave this college? My answer is never. Being a migrant kid, I was born in a city in Texas, but I never had a hometown. And this is my hometown. This is where my friends are. This is where my coworkers are. This is where my family is. This is my hometown, and so I will always be here. And I hope one day, when I do get my degree, to return and be an instructor, possibly the advisor to the ledger. And I owe so much to this community and to this college that I don't really have a choice except to help, other Miguel Moraleses out there find their way to campus, because my story is just one in 36,000, and there are 36,000 other stories of fear and walking through your fear and being here on campus. And I don't know if we get to see those kind of stories or hear them or see those faces. So as a member of the campus community, I asked a couple of people, actually about 20 people, what do you think about the diversity initiative at the college? And I'm giving a speech, and I really want to reflect what's going on campus, so could you give me some feedback? And most everybody was really excited about where we are. This is the furthest we've ever thought we could be, ever. Carmelita's position and all these diversity fellows, it's fantastic. But the underlying concern is, is this going to stick? Is it going to hold? What is diversity? What's going to make this effort different than any other effort that we had before? And of course, you are the difference that it's going to take. But me being who I am, and I always focus on the top down, I think we really need to engage the Board of Trustees in this diversity initiative. They need to take diversity training. They need to help us recruit board candidates for next spring's election. They need to help put infrastructure in place. They need to be responsible. They are our employers, and they need to be held responsible for this diversity initiative that we're undertaking, and they need to be involved in it. But that also comes back to you in that you have this great opportunity to elect your bosses. You know, you get to elect the people who can enforce this great initiative that's going on. So I would challenge you not only just to hope that, oh God, please let some qualified person of color jump in the race. No, that's not enough. Everybody in this room knows somebody who's qualified to be a Board of Trustee member. And you have to recruit them, you have to convince them, you have to work with them to make them run, to bring them to that place where we have a slew of candidates to pick from, and we will pick the best person. And if that person happens to be a person of color, then so be it. So that's my challenge to you. I know you've got many challenges this semester, but when the spring comes, please start thinking about qualified people of color who can help us go to the next level diversity-wise. I also am 40 years old, so it's kind of fitting that I'm here with the college. I remember those times, Star Wars and all those kind of things. And when I was younger, I never really thought that college or high school was in it for me. I'm kind of just rambling right now, but I just want to say thanks to everybody who's encouraged me to be a student and to continue being a student. I've had great highs at this school, and I've had really big lows at this school, but all through it, I've had people watching my back and guiding me through, and I hope that one day I can sit in this audience as a faculty member and pay respect to everything that you've done for me. I was doing a research for one of my early courses when I was here at college, and it was on the topic of education, and I needed this really good quote, and I couldn't find just the perfect quote, and I eventually found it, and it's a quote that's really helped me endure through a lot of troubling times when I'm not, the youngest and the fastest and the smartest kid in the class anymore. And it's from Abraham Lincoln. It says, "In your temporary failure, there is no evidence that you may not be a better scholar and a more successful man in the great struggle of life than many others who have entered college more easily." And that gives me a lot of inspiration and a lot of strength, and I have to remember that from time to time when things don't go the way they do for other people. But I really would like to thank you for this opportunity to address you. It's been an honor, and I am committed to telling more people's stories. So maybe if you know people who have a story similar to mine, or even normal everyday stories, I would be happy to get in touch with them, and on working with the college or on behalf of the college, tell some of those stories, because I think they're very important.